Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How much treasure will remain with Allah Almighty? If every human and jinn receives rewards according to their own wishes. It was a calm evening after Maghrib. The sky glowed with hues of orange and purple, and the soft breeze carried the fragrance of fresh earth after prayer. A faint echo of Quran recitation flowed from a nearby masjid. On the porch of a quiet home, a father and his young son Hamza sat together. Hamza looked thoughtful, turning a few small pebbles in his hand. Finally, he looked up and spoke softly. "Baba, can I ask you something?" His father smiled gently. "Of course, my son. What is it?" Hamza hesitated, then said with wonder in his eyes, "I keep thinking about Allah. When did Allah create the world? Since when have humans and jinn been living? And one day everything will end, right? Everyone will stand before Allah for judgment. If every person and jinn gets whatever they deserve and Allah gives even more than that, one till Allah's treasures ever end?" He paused, then added quietly, "It just doesn't fit in my mind, Baba. Allah's creation is so huge, stars, oceans, mountains, I can't even imagine it." The father looked at his son lovingly and said, "My dear son, what you are thinking about is very deep, and it is something even great scholars reflected on. But remember, Allah is not like His creation. His power and treasures are beyond human imagination." He continued, "Let me tell you what Rasulullah taught us. A hadith Qudsi, where Allah Himself speaks. Then the father recited, Allah the Exalted said, 'O my servants, if the first of you and the last of you, the human of you and the jinn of you, were all to stand together in one place and ask of me, and I were to give everyone what he requested, that would not decrease what I possess any more than a needle decreases the sea if it were put into it.'" Muslim 2577. Hamza's eyes widened. "A needle in the ocean?" Hamza smiled faintly. "Almost nothing." His father nodded. "Yes, my son. Imagine dipping a tiny needle into the vast ocean. When you take it out, how much water stays on that needle?" The father said, "That's how Allah explained His infinite generosity. Even if every human jinn, from Adam till the day of judgment, asked for whatever they wanted, and Allah gave everything to all of them, His treasures wouldn't decrease even a drop. Because Allah is Al-Ghani, the self-sufficient, the rich. He never runs out." The father explains. The father took a deep breath and said, "Allah is Al-Ghani, the self-sufficient, the rich. He does not depend on anyone. And all of creation depends on Him. Whatever He gives, His kingdom never decreases." Quranic explanation. He opened the Quran beside him and recited softly, "Qul law antum tamlikuna khaza'ina rahmatay rabbi izan la amsaktum khashyat al-infaqi wa kana al-insanu qatura." Say, if you possessed the treasures of my Lord's mercy, you would withhold them, fearing that they would run out. Indeed, mankind has always been stingy. Surah Al-Isra, 17th 100. He looked at Hamza and explained, "If we humans had Allah's treasures, we would be afraid to spend them, because we'd think they might finish. But Allah never fears that. His treasures are endless. Nothing He gives ever decreases His kingdom, not even as much as a drop taken from an ocean." "Hamza," the father said, "Allah created this universe from nothing. When He wants something, He only says kun fayakun, be and it is." Surah Yasin 36:82. Nothing limits Allah, not time, not power, not need. The treasures of Jannah are endless, the rewards are endless, and His mercy has no boundary. He continued, "Even the Quran tells us, and if the trees of the earth were pens and the sea were ink, replenished by 7 more seas, the words of Allah would not be exhausted." Surah Luqman 31:27. This means even if we tried to write about Allah's knowledge and power, all the oceans would dry up, but His words would never finish. The parable of the candle. The father then picked up a small lantern from the porch table. "Look, Hamza, if I light another candle from this one, does the flame of the first candle become smaller?" Hamza shook his head. "No, Baba, it stays the same." "That's right," said the father. "That's how Allah gives. He lights up countless lives, forgives countless sins, grants endless mercy, and still, His treasures remain full. His mercy and generosity never end." He continued, quoting another hadith from Sahih Muslim 993. "The right hand of Allah is full, and its fullness is not affected by the continuous spending night and day." Understanding Allah's greatness, The father pointed toward the darkening sky, now glittering with stars. Hamza, can you count those stars? Hamza looked up and whispered, No, Baba, there are too many. Now imagine the galaxies beyond what your eyes can see, said his father. Allah created all of that. Every atom, every ray of light, every heartbeat, every soul. Do you think the one who created all of this could ever run out of treasures? Hamza shook his head slowly, awe filling his heart. The father then recited another verse. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَّعْلُومٍ. And there is nothing but that with us are its treasures, and we send it down only in a known measure. Surah Al-Hijr 15:21, he explained. Everything, the rain, the food, the wealth, the guidance, then all comes from Allah's storehouses. He gives in perfect measure, but his storehouse is never empty. Then he added softly, when Allah wants something to exist, He only says might be, and it is. Surah Yasin 36:82. Allah does not need time, tools, or helpers. His command is instant, his power absolute. The father's final advice. The father drew his son close and said, My dear Hamza, Allah loves to give. The more he gives, the more his mercy expands, not decreases. Never think of Allah with limits. He is beyond all boundaries. When you ask from him, ask big. Ask for Jannat al-Firdaus, for his mercy, his forgiveness, his nearness. Because when you ask Allah, you are not taking from something that will finish. You redrawing from an ocean that never ends. Hamza smiled with peace in his heart, his eyes bright. Subhanallah, Baba. Now I understand. Allah's treasures never end, and his mercy has no limit. I think now I understand. The more I think, the more amazing Allah becomes. The father nodded, tears in his eyes. That's the beauty of Iman, my son. The more you think about Allah, the closer your heart gets to him. The father looked toward the stars and whispered, Yes, my son. Allah's giving never ends, and his love never fades. The sound of distant Quran recitation once again filled the evening air. And in that moment, the hearts of both father and son were filled with awe, love, and gratitude for the one whose treasures never decrease. Moral and reflection. Allah's treasures never decrease, even if he gives everyone everything they ask for. His knowledge, mercy, and power are beyond human understanding. Thinking deeply about Allah strengthens faith, tadabbur. Allah loves when his servants ask from him, because he never fears running out.